Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So on behalf of ISKCON Scarborough, I'd like to welcome each one of you to this Sunday feast program. Today is 9th of August 2020, which means 2 days before the biggest birthday party of the year, which will be celebrated across the world, in fact, across the universe and universes. On behalf of ISKCON Scarborough, again, we warmly welcome each one of you to our 20th successive week of virtual class, which means 5 months since COVID came about us. So, and on that note, I would like to welcome the devotees as well for our Janmashtami celebrations. So we are opening up a small window of 3 hours from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. where devotees can visit ISKCON Scarborough and take darshan. I know all of you are desperate for that because it's 5 months since you came to the temple. So we have the small window of opportunity from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. On Tuesday, which is 11th. Please visit our website and you can contact Amal Thakur Prabhu for your time slot. Hare Krishna. So today we are honored to welcome back Dr. Keshav Anand from Punjab, India, to speak to us on the topic of why we fall down. And for those of you who remember very well, Prabhu had given 2 wonderful classes. The titles were The Power of Prayers and Going Beyond Prayers. And Prabhu was here in 2018, right here in Scarborough Temple for our Radhashtami celebration. And that YouTube video is still there. You can access that and learn so much from that and from every class that Prabhu gives. So even today's class, we will record that and post it in our website and YouTube as well. So Dr. Keshav Anand is a professional doctor and a monk. Since the last 20 years, he has conducted extensive research and authored books in the field of science and spirituality. For decoding the Sanskrit sutras of the Vedas and the Bhagavad Gita, he studied Sanskrit and Western and Indian philosophies. So besides Sanskrit, Prabhu also learned Bengali, Gujarati, Marathi, Kannada to know about other traditions as well. So he's presented, various topics in various colleges across the world. So under the guidance of his spiritual master, His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Swami, he's also started a Gurukul, a traditional system of Vedic education in Punjab, India, where children learn the ancient Vedic culture and values. So Prabhu started a farm community as well, and Prabhu speaking from there. So traditional way of living is executed here with mud huts and thatched roofs with cows and of course farming. So please, we encourage you to keep a book and a pen handy. If you don't have it, I would ask you to run and get a book or a pen and paper because you'll be taking notes regularly during Prabhu's classes, and you will always have several new and critical information that will be passed along to you and to all of us. The last 10 minutes through the chat forum, we will take any of the questions that you may have. And as I mentioned, we will also have today's video recording and audio recording available through ISKCON Scarborough's website as well. So with that, I invite Dr. Keshavanand Das Prabhu to enlighten us on the topic of why we fall down. So if you can unmute yourself, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu, we can hear you.
Fine. Yeah. Om Agyana Timarandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Pracharini Visheshnava Ashtadeshtarine. So, yeah. So we are discussing this, let me say, beautiful topic, or and or maybe an ugly topic. Why we fall down? Well, before I go into this topic, why we fall down, there are many reasons for that, and I'll come to that point. But before we go into the reasons, let me tell you that there are 3 levels of fall down. Uh, I think somebody is not muted. Prabhu, can you just have a look and mute him?
Uh, yes, Prabhu. Yes,
Funny.
thank you. Thank you, Prabhu.
So, the whole point is, uh, first you have to consider the levels of fall down. It, it's not a simple question. We fall down. So, like for example, if you fall down from a hill, you fall down definitely from a hill. You can also fall down from the first floor, or you can equally fall down while walking. You trip over a stone and you fall down. All are called fall down, but the degree of fall down and the levels and the degree of hit you get on the ground, that's very so 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 that brings into question different degrees of fall down, different levels of. Okay, so there are three levels of fall down which we have to keep in mind. One is gross fall down. Now by gross fall down, what I mean is, anyway, yeah. So so first I'll uh, reiterate the list of different levels of fall down, and then I'll explain. So first we have the gross fall down. Second, we have a subtle fall down, and third, we have the subtlest fall. So these three levels of fall down. Now what I mean by that, let me just tell you. So the by gross fall down, what I mean is that this kind of fall down uh, is 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 clearly visible to us, and we can correct it. If we can find the reason for that fall down, we can simply put the remedy and correct it. It's not that difficult. It's visible. You can cure it if you know the reason, and and this kind of fall down, uh, even another person will be able to know that you have fallen. It's visible not only to you; it's visible to everybody. That is gross fall down. For example, what's example? For example, if a devotee is brahmachari and he marries, I mean to say, if he's a brahmachari for 20-25 years and marries, if he gets married, instead of going to sannyas, he marries. So that's clear fall down. Everybody can know it. Everybody can see it. Or maybe if a devotee, if a brahmachari, he joined full time and he goes back home, it's clear. It's fallen down. Or maybe in case of congregation, householders, um, their mind gets disturbed, their senses goes out of control. It's clear to them, and it's clear to others also when they come in temple, may associate with other congregation, and devotees feel, come on, he's out of his mind, he's totally disturbed and frustrated. So that's easy to make out. This is called gross fault. uh, or maybe for householders, again, for congregation, if you miss your chanting, you leave your chanting, or you leave coming, uh, uh, or you leave associating with devotees, uh, that is very gross fault. That By that I mean gross fall down. The second level is subtle fall down. By subtle fall down, what I mean is, um, you are falling down and you can sense you're falling down. Now at this level, others will not be able to see whether you're falling down. So if you go to temple, people will say he's a nice devotee, he's chanting, he's coming to Mangalarti, he's coming to Sunday programs and whatever. He is a good devotee, but but the whole point is, in his within his mind, within his soul, he's falling down. He can himself see, I'm falling down. So that's why it's called subtle fall down. Others cannot judge, but you know you're falling down, and you know you're falling down, and you're unable to check that fall down. So so unlike gross fall down, where you know the reason and you can cure it, in this fall down, you might know the reason also, but it'll be but will be very difficult to cure this kind of fall down. You will know that you're falling down, you're slipping. and very difficult to actually raise yourself up. That's subtle fall. And subtler fall down. Gross, subtle, and the subtlest. Sorry, subtlest or subtler, whatever. So even subtle than the subtle. Let me put like subtlest or subtler. So that kind of fall down is the subtlest fall down is where you have fallen down, but you yourself don't know that you yourself have no idea that you have fallen, but actually you're out, you're out of the picture. That is completely incurable because nobody else can tell you have fallen down. You also can't tell that I'm fallen. And then how will you cure the disease if you don't know? If you don't accept you have fallen down. Now this is the subtlest. So this is okay. Let me just put it here. So first I'll discuss gross fall down, the reasons. Second, the reasons for subtle fall down. Third is the reasons for the subtlest. Okay, so let's come to the gross fall down. Let me just put it here. Okay, okay, let's fine. So gross fall down. Okay, so now let's talk about gross. What are the reasons? The first and foremost reason for gross fall down is leaving your sadhana. And why do you leave your sadhana? Bhakti Siddhanta, he wrote an article and he said, we leave our sadhana because we get ahankar of sadhana. We get ego of our practice of devotion. Now we have to take a few seconds to explain what do we mean by having ego of our own sadhana, ahankar of our own sadhana. What do we mean by that? Now you see the point. Bhakti Siddhanta used to say, anytime if you see that your sadhana is going down and you are unable to finish your rounds, or you're able to finish your rounds but not with that intensity what you want to do, then the main reason for this is you've got ahankar of your sadhana or ego. You have developed an ego for your practice of devotion. Now what that means is we so when we practice devotion, we follow many rules and regulations, isn't it? We chant 16 rounds, we follow 4 eggs and other rules and regulations, and we start becoming pure. Our senses start coming in control, and at that point we start thinking in our mind that this purity, Hare Krishna, and this is a problem there now. Okay,
Okay.
uh, uh, this this purity, this purity is due to my practice of devotion. Because I have been getting up, now Karthik is coming, isn't it? So Karthik people will take vows, or maybe Chaturmas people take vows. I'll chant 64 rounds daily, and I'll eat only once a day. I'll eat fruits. And then after you practice all these things, at the end of the Karthik, you feel pure and you feel nice. That's good. But if you start thinking, due to my practice, I've achieved this purity and nice feelings and advancement, that means you have developed a false ego for your own practice of devotion. That is ahankar. And the next step will be Krishna will make you fall down. Krishna will make you fall down from your practice of devotion. That will be the next step, because Krishna can tolerate everything. Krishna can tolerate the most lusty man, the most dusty man, the most greedy man, the most angry man. What he cannot tolerate is false, because that's the most harmful for us. That's the base of all these nonsense stuff which we have in our heart. That he cannot tolerate. If he even smells false ego, he will crush it to pieces. Indra, Krishna smelled false ego in Indra, and he crushed his pride to pieces by Govardhan Leela. So as soon as we start thinking, I am becoming pure due to my sadhana, The next step will be, Krishna will say, oh, okay, because of your sadhana, you are becoming pure. Fine, I'll take the power from you to do sadhana. And now you do. And your sadhana, you will lose your sadhana. The next, and you will fall down from the level of devotion. That's what he does. A true devotee, what he thinks when he's doing sadhana, when he's becoming pure, he doesn't think due to my practice of devotion I'm becoming pure. He thinks that that the power to do this practice is given by Krishna. And the fruits of this practice is also through mercy of Krishna. It's mercy of Krishna that I'm getting this power to do practice. It's mercy of Krishna that this practice has now given fruits of purity and happiness in my mind. My only credit is my desire to do practice. Jeev ichha matra kare. And rest is mercy of Krishna. So he is the main director in this whole movie of my practice and advancement in my practice of devotion. The credit goes to him, not to me. Then you can simply keep on doing something. And moreover, our sadhana, how can it make us pure? I mean, say, Dhruv Maharaj, what kind of sadhana he was doing? Prahlad, what kind of sadhana? Our sadhana is anyway 16 rounds, that too with the messed up chanting. Our mind is going here and there. How can we expect to become advanced by such chanting? But Krishna, by his own mercy, he sees not what kind of chanting you're doing, but he sees with what anxiety you are, with what anxiety you are doing chanting, with what intensity you are doing chanting. Oh, I want to please Krishna, that's why I'm chanting. That sentiment Krishna catches and he makes you advance. Just like a child. If you ask a child to write A, B, C, D, now, okay, my dear child, write A, B, C, D. So he will try to write A, B, C, D. So, and when he will take his copy, it will be nonsense. It will not be A. A will be Z, B will be E, and C will be X. He'll just write something gibberish there. But nevertheless, to encourage a child, you will say, oh, so nice writing. So A, B, C, D, you're so nice, child. Try again. That's what Krishna does with us. Simply because the child is trying, simply because we are trying and we are desiring, Krishna gives us mercy and makes us advance. It's not due to the credit of our own sadhana. It's not that you have chanted 64 rounds and done eaten some once a time, and that's why Krishna is giving you mercy and making you advance. No, your sadhana has no value in the eyes of Krishna. But nevertheless, we do sadhana because we are being ordered by parampara and because we know it pleases Krishna. But what pleases Krishna is when we are trying to do sadhana nicely. That mood, that sentiment really pleases Krishna. Yeah. So I actually there's a male. Oh, sorry. So one devotee asked Srila Prabhupada, um, so how do we advance in Krishna consciousness? Prabhupada says, well, advance in Krishna consciousness by your sincerity. So Prabhupada says, what your sadhana? Where your sadhana is. But Krishna sees a sincerity in sadhana and makes you advance. So that's Krishna's causeless mercy on us, that we have advanced. But if we start thinking it's due to my sadhana, we will, the next moment will fall. And that's why you see, sometimes, so Vishwa Chakri Thakur writes, the pattern of devotion. Our pattern of devotion is not a tan curve like hyperbola, it's a sine curve, up and down. So this is technically called as Ghana Taral. Sometimes our devotion becomes very nice, sadhana becomes very nice, sometimes it becomes very loose, then becomes nice, then becomes loose, then becomes nice, then we fall down, then we tighten ourselves, then we again fall down. This keeps on happening up and down. Why? Because as soon as our sadhana becomes very nice, we develop false ego, we don't have proper conception, we again come. Krishna says, oh, go down, punarmushtikobha. And again we come up, then again go down. So that's one of the main reasons. In fact, one of the I think one of the sannyasis, he was giving lecture in Vrindavan long back, many years back, and he was saying that we all sannyasis are still there as sannyasis in ISKCON. Many others have fallen down, and we think we all now understand the main reason for this is lack of sadhana, and that leads us to gross fall down. And that's what Prabhupada says, never relax yourself in rules and regulations. Follow Mangalarti, chant 16 rounds, but with a proper intention, but without any ego of your practice, with a humble mood. That's why Trinada is mentioned. So that's the first reason. Okay, this is the second reason of gross fall down. And now, so now remember, I'm talking about gross fall. The second reason for gross fall down is, of course, this is gross fall down. If you get ego of sadhana and if you lose your sadhana, everybody can see you are not chanting with Srinivas, you're not coming from Mangalarti. It's easy to figure out. And then you can cure it easily. You do sadhana, you understand, you read philosophy, you understand the mood while doing sadhana, and you correct it. The second reason for gross fall down is offenses. Now we all know Nama Prad, Vaishnava Prad, Dhama Prad, Jana Prad. There are different types of offenses. But of all types of offenses, two are important: Nama Prad and Vaishnava. Offense against holy names and offense against Vaishnavas. Even within these two offenses, in the offenses against holy name, the most important offense is not to chant attentively. That's the most important offense due to which we fall down. We don't do our chanting properly. We just so if you try to finish your chanting, chanting will finish you. That's what Jagadanand Pandit, he says in his book Prem Vivarth. Try to finish your chanting, chanting will finish you. Don't try to do that. Take a little extra time. Chant properly. It's mother of all offenses. And Vaishnava Prad. If you do offenses against Vaishnavas, then even God cannot save. And the first symptom will be gross fall down. Even Shiva, he says, I'm so afraid of Vaishnava offense because even Shiva can become a meat eater if he does Vaishnava offense. He himself says in Bhagavad, and that's why I'm very afraid. So that's the power of Vaishnava offense. So that's the second reason. Third reason is a bad association, gross fall down. If you take bad association and become bad, everybody can know he's become nonsense now. He has left. He's broken all wrong four legs and all these things. Now, by bad association, I mean for congregation members, bad association is society. So society, bad association. You're going to a job, and then you're meeting so many people, and it affects you. It affects you. Even unknowingly, it affects you. So Srimad Bhagavatam, there's a beautiful verse where I think Devarshi Narad is saying, even association taken unknowingly with materialistic people, it affects the mind. So Narad Muni advises, why then you don't take association of saints unknowingly? Even that will affect you. That's very interesting logic. Even if you don't understand, so even if you don't know he's a saint, what caliber of saint he is, you have no idea. But simply if you take association, you will elevate. And if you don't know he's a materialistic person, and if you simply associate with him, you'll fall. So for householders, that's a big challenge there in the society. But you know what? Krishna is not so unhappy when you take bad association as a householder. When you do when you go for a job, I mean, you have to go for a job and you have to work. But what makes him unhappy is that you are in such a bad association and still you are happy. That's the whole problem. Krishna says, what the hell? Is their mind, there's some problem with their nut screwing or what? They're happy. Life goes on. I'm doing my job nicely. I'm earning and I'm doing my chanting and Mangalarti. There's absolutely no remorse that I'm in such a bad association. When will Krishna free me from this bad association? With that mood, if you do all your job and everything, then okay, Krishna says, okay, at least this is good. This is good. So that's a problem. And for people who are living in temple, what's bad association? For brahmacharis and for full-time devotees, bad association is devotees. There are always some nonsense. Nonsense devotees also. There's something called nonsense devotees also. Yeah, space out devotees. Am I right? ISKCON terminology.
Mhm.
There, I mean to say there are many types of devotees: blue, pink, yellow, green. So many types of devotees. There are some people who look like devotees, but they're demons from inside. They come in institution for their agenda and not really for devotion. Kapat, with hypocrisy. So there are all kind of so-called devotees. You have to be very careful with whom to associate, with whom not to associate. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes. Bhaktivinoda Thakur interestingly writes, Vaishnav offense. One big Vaishnav offense is not to discriminate between who is a Vaishnava and who is not a Vaishnava. That is also a Vaishnava offense. To associate with all the Vaishnavas, that is also Vaishnava offense, without any discrimination. We should have discrimination. What is bad association? What is good association? Uh, so when it comes to devotees, you don't associate with devotees who have wrong intentions, who are always criticizing others. You don't want to associate with them. You respect them from far. That's the trick. That's how you live in Vaishnava. Respect them, but from far. Hare Krishna. So that's bad association. And by bad association, I also mean bad association in mind, with your mind. What about that? What about that? If you associate with your own mind, that's the worst association, because mind is your best friend, mind is your best enemy. And now mind is our enemy. And if you associate with mind, by associating with my mind, I mean, if you start following, um, so if you start following your mind's advice, whatever you think, if you start following that, that's bad association. Now that's very funny. You might say, I thought and I did it. Well, you are doing bad association. You thought and you did it. That's crazy. You thought, but then you have to check with scriptures whether it is right or wrong. And then you do it. Because whatever you think, that your mind is telling you, and your mind is your enemy. So don't rely on that. So all these things come in bad association. And so this is kind of association leads to gross fall down. And the fourth type of gross fall down, the reason is not preaching or not helping in preaching mission. If you don't preach, Mahaprabhu says, Jare dekho tare kao Krishna udesh, amar age guru taro desh, tabu na bandhi pe toy vishay taram. If you don't preach, or if you don't help in preaching mission, those who are preaching, whatever the situation is, you will fall down. You will grossly fall down because you will not get blessings of Lordship. So these are four reasons for gross. And we can correct it. Another reason, correct it. That's all. Now what about subtle fall down? Now subtle fall down is subtle. That's why the name is subtle. You are falling down. You know you're falling down. Nobody else can see that you're falling down. It's happening in your mind, in your heart, in your soul. And you want to get up, but you are unable to get up. It's very difficult. Now this kind of fall down has three reasons. This happens with all of us, most of us. Gross fall down generally doesn't happen because we understand things. It might happen, you have to be careful. But this subtle fall down always keeps on happening, every day, every moment. So what are the reasons for that? I mean to say, someday we feel nice, someday we feel messed up within ourselves, frustrated, we don't like chanting, but nevertheless we are chanting. We have to do chanting because it's a duty. And sometimes we feel reading, sometimes we don't feel reading. We feel completely frustrated. We feel it's a burden. And the next day we feel we are the seventh Goswami. All these kind of fluctuations which happens within us. It happens with all of us. So this is called subtle fall down. You can see you're falling down. Your consciousness is going down to lower platform. Something lower is pulling you. Your lower nature starts pulling you. And you can't do, you're helpless. So why the subtle fall down happens? Well, or sometimes you are doing everything. You are following the process and you're chanting and you're reading, but within you are dead. That's also fall down, subtle fall down. You know that within you've lost that enthusiasm. You are following because you have to follow, because anyway it's a long. I mean, from long time you're following. It's a habit. It becomes almost like machine inside. You're not longing. Uh, so, Rupa Goswami says, some people are longing for money, some people are longing for uh, lust, some people are longing for name, fame, power. Some people are even longing for God. But as far as we are concerned, devotees of Lord Chaitanya, we are longing for longing. That's what Gaudiya Vaishnavism is. We're not longing for God. We're longing for longing. And that's what the famous verse is, Krishna bhavita matihi uto api labhyate. If you get that Krishna consciousness, what is Krishna consciousness? Krishna consciousness is a consciousness where you want Krishna. That's Krishna consciousness. That longing for Krishna is Krishna consciousness in mode of separation. So, how do you get that longing? Tatra mulyam ekalam lolyam, by greed, by longing to get that longing. That is Gaudiya Vaishnava. So that kind of longing, that kind of longing, it's not there in our hearts. So you don't feel any longing, you don't feel any enthusiasm. You're dead. You're like a zombie. You feel like a zombie. After so many years, things are going on. Anyway, there are so many problems. Temple with devotees. That's called subtle fall down. You've fallen down within yourself. Nobody else can see, but you can't even get up. So there are primarily three reasons for this subtle fall down. What are the three reasons? The first is the lack of goal. First is lack of goal. Prabhupada says in Bhagavad Gita, due to lack of goal in life, you get frustrated. There's no enthusiasm. So by lack of goal, I mean either you don't have goal in your personal life, your personal goal, or you're not associating with people who have a goal. Sometimes when you're a new devotee, you should not have personal goals, isn't it? You should serve those higher devotees or a temple which has a goal. So either you have a personal goal or you are with people or temple who has a goal. Goal is important. If goal is not there, then you will slowly start falling down within yourself. Everything will become dead and boring and frustrating. That's why you see many temples and many congregation devotees who simply do some mangala, who do aartis, they're chanting, and they get some money, they get some prasad, and things are going on. There is no goal of the temple to expand preaching. There is no goal of the temple to do some projects. Things go down. Devotees from within, they become de-enthusiastic. Then they start fighting and politics and all these things. So that's subtle fall down. Devotees will be coming, but they'll be like zombies with a smile like that. They'll be like, Hare Krishna, Prabhu. But inside they are finished. Their whole excitement for Krishna consciousness, that longing for longing, that is not. The second reason for subtle fall down is changing your services continuously. Okay, due to problems in services. Now, some devotees do like this. Okay, I want to do this service, and there's a problem. There's a conflict between devotees. Prabhuji, I want to change, and they go to another service. And there's a problem, Prabhu, I don't like this. Let me change. They're continuously flipping the services, and what happens by that? You don't advance. You don't become strong, because when you do one service continuously, the responsibility, you will face many challenges, and those challenges will make you strong. The whole point is perseverance, persistence in service. Persistence in service makes you strong from inside, from within, and you don't fall down from within. That enthusiasm is maintained. But if you keep on changing services due to fear of problems and frustration, then then you will fall into the subtle fall down category. And the third reason for subtle fall down is not trying to go to a higher platform. I mean to say, if you keep on always focusing on making yourself pure, lust, anger, greed, offenses, that's good. That is called anarth nivritti. But Bhakti Santa used to say also arth pravritti. Try to go to a next platform. Try to earn something. Artha means earn something. Don't just try to clean your existence. Try also to earn something. What to earn? Go to a next platform. You're following a process. That's good. But then why we are following the process? That's the question you have to ask yourself. You're following this process to change our nature, to develop good qualities, Daivi Gun. Try to develop that, because that's the purpose of this whole process of this chant, Shravanam, Kirtanam, devotees. If you're not trying to develop uh, good qualities, Daivi Gun, and if you're not trying to change your nature, and you're simply following some rules and regulations like a machine, then you're stuck up at one platform. You're not trying to go higher. And in devotion, if you don't try to go higher, you will go lower. You can't stay at one point. You will go down. You will glide down. But you will not glide down grossly. From within, you will glide down. Your enthusiasm, excitement will be finished. You'll be simply following rules and regulations. Because that's what you want to do. You don't want to go to a higher platform. Okay. Krishna will make you like that. Become like a machine. Keep on doing. And be happy, satisfied. So try to go to next platform, Daivi Gun. Try to go to next platform from Vaidhi Bhakti to Raganoga Bhakti. Now there's something called as Raganoga Bhakti. Of course, Raganoga Bhakti is a very higher platform. And that platform is a worshipable platform, Pujala Ragpat. And Mahaprabhu says that is platform through which we can attain Vrindavan. Now you can't change that truth, but you have to. But at least you have to. You have to know what's that, and you have to worship that platform, and try to meditate how to enter that platform. Now, this I'm talking of devotees who have spent some time in Krishna consciousness, 8, 9, 10 years. Then all these things come. So not trying to go to a higher platform, that creates a subtle fall down within our soul, within our. Now this subtle fall down, and the subtlest of all fall downs, the subtlest fall down. There are 4 reasons for that. Subtlest fall down, where you have already fallen, but you don't know you have fallen. You don't realize you have fallen, but you have fallen. We have 4 reasons for that. Subtlest fall down. The first reason is, as soon as you start thinking yourself better than your seniors, your guide, as soon as that thought comes, you already fallen. You've fallen. Krishna is rejected. Our seniors, our spiritual masters, our guide in spiritual life, we can know more than them materially, or maybe in some branches, or maybe verses we know more than them. But as far as spiritual realizations are concerned, we can never go beyond them. That's impossible. That's why even Mahaprabhu says, I am more Kamita Moor in front of his spiritual master. So as soon as we think we are better than a guide, you're already fallen. You don't need to fall down. You're fallen. That's all. Krishna rejects such a egoistic. That's the subtlest fall down. You might not realize, but you're fallen. And the second reason for the subtlest fall down is going beyond your adhikar. Now, by adhikar I means uh, uh, a child in the first class, that's his adhikar. If a child in first class, he wants to know the subject of 12th class, he's going beyond his adhikar, his eligibility. So going beyond your adhikar, that will lead to subtlest fall down, like sahijyas and sentimental people. Now they start reading Govind Leela, Amrit, Lalit Madhav, Vidak Madhav, uh, um, uh, without making themselves pure or without doing a substantial service. They start reading all these things. They are going beyond the adhikar, and this leads to subtlest fall down. If you ask any these sahijas and sentimental people, are you fallen? They'll say, come on, you have fallen. We have advanced. They don't even realize they've fallen, but they have fallen. They go beyond the adhikar. And the third reason for subtlest fall down is satisfaction in service. Now you're doing some service and you're completely satisfied, it means you have fallen. Real symptom of advancement is dissatisfaction. Devotee is dissatisfied. Devotees want to do more service, more in quantity or quality. But he wants to do more and more. He is satisfied also that he is doing service. He's fortunate to get service, but that satisfaction is superseded by dissatisfaction. I'm not able to do much for Krishna. I want to do more and more and more. When the desire to do service exceeds the amount of service, that time you will get mercy. That's the time when Krishna will give you Sarup Siddhi. And the desire of your service will exceed the amount of service or the quality of service. That's intensity of desire for service. That is anxiety for service. Prabhupada says. So satisfaction in service. If you feel I'm completely satisfied, I don't need anything, let it go, it's nice, things are going on, I'm settled, means you're fallen down. You're finished. And the fourth reason for subtlest fall down is you keep on preaching to others, but you don't preach to yourself. That's very common syndrome for preachers. They preach, and they think they're advancing because so many people are connecting to them, and they're doing this service and that service, but they're not preaching to themselves. This often happens. It's the most common problem with preachers. They forget preaching themselves. They're always busy in making seminars and this and that for other people, but their personal reading, their personal nourishment of the soul is not there. They're busy in helping others, not helping oneself. So this subtlest fall down will make you. Now you see, these are the reasons for the three kind of fall downs. Now, gross fall down is easily seen. If you grossly fall down, if you do all those stupid things or the reasons, you grossly fall down, you might leave devotion. So what's the end of gross fall down? You will leave devotion, you will leave your rounds, you leave a Mangal Marti, or you'll be completely disturbed in your mind, and you will frustrate yourself, frustrate others. This is a symptom of gross fall. The symptom of subtle fall down is is uh, is you will become de-enthusiastic within yourself. You'll become dead within yourself. You will feel what's happening. I'm not getting so taste and so much enthusiasm. Things are keep on going. What should I do? I'm not even advancing in Krishna consciousness. What's happening? I'm stuck up. That kind of feeling. That means subtle fall down. And the result of subtlest fall down uh, is a sudden crash. It's a result of subtlest fall down. Now, so when you fall down subtly, um, so either I mean to say you don't even realize you're falling, and you're continuing the process, and you think there's no problem, and suddenly one day everything will crash and it will get over. Everything will be over. Everything will be gone. And that's why you see many preachers, they fall down. Many big stalwart sannyasis in history, they fell down. Why? Because everything was going on nicely, and suddenly uh, that sannyasi ran away with God, for example, or that sannyasi made a lot of money and went away. Suddenly, what happened to him? What everything was nice. Suddenly, he fell down. He was a great devotee. What happened? Because he was subtlest, on the subtlest level, he was falling down. He didn't realize, but it piled up, and suddenly one day, boom, crashed everything, and you're gone. So that's very dangerous of this fall down. So this is the result of all these three fall down, the reasons of fall down, and the results of these fall down. How do we recognize these fall down? What are these fall downs? We are, we are talking about that. So so we should try to see the reason if these things are happening in our life. If you're falling down grossly or subtly, subtlest level, if you're falling down, you'll not be able to make out you're falling down. That's why you should have some friends, some good friends who can warn you, some critics in your life, not people who are flattering you, not your small congregation where everybody says, "Oh, Prabhuji, you know so much, you are so senior." No, you should have some critics who can tell you, "Prabhuji, there's some problem with you," or your spiritual master if you're in contact with him. But you should have some friends who are critics, because spiritual master, they're very busy in institution. Things are, they have to preach and they're busy, so they can't keep in touch with everybody. So so uh, the precaution of subtlest fall down, how to prevent that? Keep critics around. How to prevent gross fall down? Well, try to see the reason and cure. Just cure it. Just remove that reason. And how to prevent subtle fall down? Well, subtle fall down. How to prevent? Well, Well, take good association of devotees who are higher than you. They will help you. Who are higher than you, they will pull you. They will fix your goal. They will tell you be anxious. They will help you to go to a higher level. So that's how you can prevent all these fall downs. These are the reasons for fall down. Yeah. So please don't fall down. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada.
Jai. So thank you again, Prabhu. Wonderful, wonderful class. Again, as I mentioned to the devotees, please keep a book, not just a paper. And I have several pages of notes, and I'm pretty sure others have several pages of notes as well. So wonderful, Prabhu. Thank you for going through the various levels of fall downs. Just to reiterate for the devotees who joined us a little late, so you gave us three different types of fall down: gross, subtle, and subtlest, and then various reasons why somebody falls down. The first reason is lack of sadhana for gross fall down, and then offenses is the second reason, and the third reason is bad association, and the fourth reason is not helping in preaching. And the subtle fall down, you're given three wonderful reasons. One is lack of goal, second is changing services continuously, and the third is not trying to go to the higher platform, just staying the status quo. And the subtlest platform also, you gave us four reasons. One is thinking that we are better than our own guide or our own guru or trainers, and the second is going beyond our adhikar, and the third one is satisfaction in service, again staying where we are, and fourth is we preach to others but not to ourselves, which is the most common problem that we all face.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Prabhu. So there are quite a few questions that have been asked, which
Yeah.
is really good, Prabhu. So if I can just start off with one of the questions, Prabhu. So you mentioned very nicely about the verse Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavitamati Kriyatamiti Kutopi Labhita. So in that verse, Laulyam is said, which is greed sort of for service. So how do we balance? Because you clearly mentioned that we need to our desire should exceed the available service. But one of the problems that we have, or it can be misconstrued, is some of the devotees may say, "Oh, I need to take his service. I need to take that person's service." So it's like over enthusiastic, but not able to
Well,
execute, but just
yeah.
dismantle a few other devotees.
Well, yeah. So it's a good question. The answer is simple. The answer is simple. If we are desiring for service, we
Mhm.
have to remember we are desiring for service. We are not trying to. We are not. We are desiring. We are servant.
Mm,
So servant must accept services. Servant can't demand services.
beautiful. Mm,
That's the whole problem. That's the whole point. So if you're desiring service and you're in servant mode, whatever service you get and you receive as mercy, you accept it and you try to do that. And if you can't increase the quantity of that service because that kind of service is given to you, the nature of service is like that, then try to increase the quality of service. But you can't really but you can't really ask for services. That's a bad move. That is that then we're not acting like a servant, then we're acting like a master.
mm.
That's a loophole.
Beautiful. Very, very, very nicely said, Prabhu. So servant accepts the service and not demands the service. So it's
Yeah,
very important that you mentioned that, Prabhu, as we are going through this different varying
yeah.
levels of fall down. Another question is we sometimes when somebody chants really well, they feel so grateful to Krishna, and they're very contented after chanting, the certain number of rounds. Can that be false ego, or is that something that is good to have when we
Well, yeah. When we chant and we after chanting we feel nice and grateful to Krishna and we feel contented. That's nice. But the whole point is that's not the parameter to judge whether your chanting is nice or good.
chant?
By that you can't say your chanting is nice because if you're feeling satisfied and you're feeling grateful and you're feeling blissful after chanting, that might be a causeless mercy of Krishna.
Mm,
Okay, okay, fine, I give him this mercy and let him be happy and that. But if really your chanting is good, then how to measure that? That will be measured by when you chant, from chanting form and qualities and pastimes benefits. That is the only parameter which Rupa Goswami gives. If that is happening, then we can be sure that a chanting is good in the eyes of God. Now that's very important. Our chanting might be good in our own eyes, but then who cares? If we try to scan the whole picture by our own eyes, that's not a point. We want our chanting to be good in the eyes of Lord. And in the eyes of Lord, if our chanting is good, He will make sure that through our name, chanting of holy names, form, qualities, and pastimes will manifest. From Kirtanam, we'll go to Smaranam, Smaranam level, Smaranam Ramanga, which Krishna will activate from within our heart. And all these satisfaction, gratefulness, these feelings, these are just side effects. This is just, so you're feeling that you're nice, Krishna is giving you as an additional bonus to maybe to encourage you. To say, so Krishna might see, come on, his chanting is complete nonsense. He's a crazy fellow. But if I don't encourage him, he'll leave. Okay, so feel satisfied, feel bliss. That can also. So we can't judge by that.
Oh, nice,
So
Prabhu. So,
whenever so whenever these things are happening, we are feeling bliss and we are feeling grateful. That's nice. Don't try to get rid of it. Keep it on one side. Don't try to judge your chanting good and bad by this fact. Don't try to do it. Judge by name, qualities, past forms, and past times. Only by.
wonderful, Prabhu. And in a way, if a newcomer is chanting really well, and if he's getting enticed or having this thirst and attraction to the pastimes of the Lord and pastimes of the Lord, that could be a sign that his chanting is accepted by the Lord as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Wonderful, Prabhu. Thank you. So, a few more questions as well, and I'll read that out. I think you mentioned, Prabhu, sometimes we get bad association unknowingly, which is a reality. We may get in touch with somebody who's sitting next to us in an aeroplane or a train,
Yeah.
and that can actually get bigger and bigger. So unknowingly, which we didn't anticipate, inadvertently we got. So it can be good or bad, and based on your advice, we'll be able to sort of put a fence around that, as we know it is not conducive for our spiritual life. Now,
Mm-hmm.
Prabhu, we all know that you've been a brahmachari, great brahmachari, but if you can just guide us a little bit on grahasthas, because as you rightly said that all the grahasthas need to go to work, and not everybody is in the same page, and of course especially in the West,
Mm-hmm.
everybody is in a different
Yeah.
wavelength. So any advice and suggestion to grahasthas? We need to work with them, we need to get money to manage family,
Yeah.
temple, everyone. So what do you suggest as to how we deal with non-devotees?
Well, yeah, the Srupa Goswami says, with now, or in Srila Prabhupada, but Prabhupada says, do the needful.
Hmm.
Simple, very good advice. Do the needful with outside people. Talk the needful, and that's it. Finish. And just come back to your home. Don't exchange emotions with them. Tadati pratinati guyamagati prachati. Don't do that. Do you do your work nicely? So to say, all these non-devotees, they don't care who the hell are you. They want the work done. Am I right? Unless you're doing your work nicely, they're happy. Okay, this kind of person, it's his own life, whatever he wants. To say, nobody gives a damn shit to all these things. So do your work nicely, do your work properly, and don't really mingle your emotions with them. Don't do the needful. That's all, and that's it. And come back to your home and do
Hmm.
your stuff. That's the minimum we can do at this level.
At this level,
Not,
one.
yeah,
That's great, Prabhu. Do the needful. So that's a clear message for all of
yeah,
us. And
yeah.
on this note, I would like to thank the devotees who have joined us or who join us regularly from Mauritius as well, Ananga Manjari Devidasi and the family. We are grateful to you. And if you have any questions, you can pass it along. But we have a few more questions as well, Prabhu. So this is,
Mhm.
again, a private question that was asked. The focus on chanting and being in this mood of chanting when we're chanting, offenseless chanting, but also 6 to 14, in Ajamil pastime, it is said, one who chants the holy name of the Lord is immediately freed from the reactions of unlimited sins, even if he chants indirectly, jokingly, for musical entertainment, or even neglectfully. So is that I mean, definitely it's not contradictory. So what is the mood in which it is said versus what we need to follow? Because we can't just follow this and do our daily sadhana.
in fact, using this kind of understanding to do a daily sadhana, that's again an offense. So then we implicate, because Bhagavatam says by neglectfully chanting, so let me neglectfully chant and all my sins are destroyed. Then we are again into a trap of offense. That's again an offense. I think 8th or 9th, whatever 8th offense. Yeah. So the whole point is these kind of injunctions are said and they are true. That even when neglectful chanting, sneha, hela, stobha, technically all these things, if we chant in all these neglectfully, jokingly, our sins will be destroyed. That's very much true. Like Ajamil, his sins were destroyed. But at the same time, we are not here to destroy our sins. That's the whole idea. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement is not to destroy sins or give us some sukruti. Our goal is love of God. Let us be clear what is our goal. In fact, when our goal is love of God, we don't care for sinful life or pious life. We are completely oblivious to that. In fact, there's a saint, and he said, yeah, that's a very nice saying. So he was praying to God, and God said, I'll meet you on a land. I'll meet you on a land where there is no good and no bad. There I'll meet you. So that is a realm of love where we don't care about sin and pious activities. We do, our whole principle is anukul pratikul. Whatever is favorable to devotion, we do. Whatever is not favorable, we don't do. Ordinarily, sins are not favorable to devotion, so we don't come. But in some conditions, if it's required, we might do it under some guidance because it's really needful and we must do it for serving Krishna. So that's the whole idea there. So these kind of verses are there to inspire us to chant holy names, to inspire ordinary people to chant holy. It's only for ordinary people and also for devotees. So these kind of injunctions don't inspire us to chant holy names because it will destroy all sins. That's not the reason. That's the reason for non-devotees. But for devotees, especially devotees Lord Chaitanya, these kind of verses for us, we look at these verses in a way where it is glories of holy name.
Beautiful.
In that sense, holy name is so high, so merciful that even if somebody is chanting neglectfully, holy name destroys all his sins. Let me surrender to holy name. With that mood, we see this verse and then we advance. That's the whole idea.
Beautiful, Prabhu. Hit the nail on the head there. Very clear. So these verses are there to show the glories of the holy name, and especially for newcomers or non-devotees. So it'll also inspire us, as you mentioned, as devotees, to know how potent this holy name is, and when we chant it with devotion, how pleasing it would be for the Lord. Thank you so much, Prabhu. I think we have a couple of more questions here. So as far as, I think this is a little heavy question. Okay, so one more question before I get to that, Prabhu. How do we know Krishna is happy with my sincerity? So there's a question.
Well, it's simple and difficult. The simple answer is Yasya Prasadat Bhagavad Prasadu. Yasya Prasadat Nagapati. If your spiritual master is if your guide, your teachers, spiritual master, Acharya, they are happy with you, it's absolutely sure Krishna's. Now that's one answer. But the whole problem here is if you're not in touch with your spiritual master, then what to do? Or if you're not in touch with your teacher, suppose if you're lost in a forest, then what to do? Then how should I know whether Krishna is happy or not? Then these parameters will not work. So I mean to say, I'm not just talking about getting lost in forest. I'm talking about there are moments in our life where we are not in touch with devotees. 24 hours, we are not just staying with them.
Mm.
But 24 hours, we have to judge whether Krishna is happy or not. Every second we have to judge. It's not just after, so it's not that after 1 month, you will write a mail to spiritual master. Are you happy with my service? We'll get to report. He will say, I'm happy and that's okay. No. This process, whether Krishna is happy or not, every second we have to keep in our mind. Otherwise, we are in illusion. So how to do that? One way, okay, this is seniors and Acharya, they are happy and that is okay. That's but then there has to be some other method where every second we are able to make out whether Krishna is happy or not. How to do that? That can be done. So we need some other parameter for this. One parameter we got, but we need another parameter. What's that parameter when we can know every moment? How do we know that? So Krishna is happy or not? It's simple. If yeah. So it is said in Manu Samhita. Manu Samhita says this: if you feel satisfaction in your heart, if you feel peace and happiness in your heart, and if while chanting the name manifests its form, pastimes, and qualities, Krishna is happy. Simple. So all things can be judged by chanting. Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. If you are lost if you are alone in forest, if suppose today you are now there, so you will not keep on asking everybody, seniors, are you happy? Are you happy? You don't do like that. But but as soon as you chant and you start remembering qualities of Krishna, how handsome Krishna is, how beautiful he is. He is my hero. He is my Lord. If these kind of sentiments, if his qualities are manifesting in your heart, if his form is manifesting, it's absolutely sure Krishna is happy, because this kind of thing, name, form, qualities, past tense, it cannot happen without Krishna being happy. So this is the second parameter by which we can know Krishna is happy. If Krishna is happy, you are happy. Krishna is sad, you are sad. You can't be happy if Krishna is sad. Right? If the soul of all souls is happy, you are happy. But how do we know that my soul is happy? It can be illusory. That to check that, we have to chant holy names. Krishna, by his blessings, will make himself remember to you. If Krishna is happy, or in other words, Krishna is happy, he will come near you. If somebody is happy with me, he will come close to me. Am I right? If somebody is unhappy, so he will just go away from me. So I don't want to sit with you. I want to go away. So when Krishna comes close to us, he manifests himself in chanting of holy names. That's how we know Krishna is happy. So these two parameters, and we can know easily.
Wonderful, Prabhu. Thank you so much. This is a question. I'm just going to read it out to you, Prabhu. So when we return to spiritual world, we never fall down because we recall the previous nightmare of our recent experience in the material world. But if we are in Vaikuntha Loka, we may fall down, whereas not ever fall down if we reach Goloka Vrindavan. Is that true?
Well, somebody asked Prabhupada, disciples asked Prabhupada, and Prabhupada said that even gopis can fall down. Gopis who are there already in spiritual world. Prabhupada said even gopis can fall down, but then Prabhupada completed his statement, they will never fall down. So the point Prabhupada is trying to make in that letter is, we always have free will. Free will can never be destroyed, whether we are here, whether we are there. It doesn't happen. So we always have a chance to fall down from spiritual world or from anywhere. But when we go to spiritual world, we will not choose to fall down. That's what Prabhupada writes in the words. We will not choose to fall down, because we have experienced this material world and this and that and that and that. We are done with everything. Who wants to come back again? So that's why we will not choose to fall. That's why Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Yat Gatvana Nivartante. One who comes to my kingdom, he will never come back. He is making a point. Now, he is not saying that I will brainwash him, or I will remove all his free will. So then he will not. If he removes all his free will, then what's the point of preaching about love. Love needs free will, and spiritual world, everybody loves God, and love demands free will. So he will not destroy free will. What he means to say is, once you come to spirituality, you will never come back, because he will not allow you to come to spiritual world without fully testing. He will not allow. So that's the whole point. I understand now. So kind of you understand.
Wonderful, Prabhu. So the Prabhu who had asked this is very happy with your response, and the other Prabhus who had asked the questions. You gave very, very simple but profound answers that answered the questions, and the questions that they asked, and I'm pretty sure many devotees also wanted to ask, they were hesitating to ask, and just by them asking, we are thankful to the devotees who have asked these nice questions. And of course, Prabhu, we are eternally grateful for your association physically when you came here in 2018, and you've given us so much of your valuable time and association from India. This is the third class, and and for the benefit of devotees, Prabhu will be joining us again on the 30th of August, which is the last Sunday of this month. Prabhu will be joining us again. On behalf of all the devotees who joined us, not only from the Scarborough area, but also from the Burlington area, and from further east, as well as from the devotees who called in from Mauritius, we are grateful for your wonderful class and enlightening instructions, Prabhu. So
one thing I just want to tell, if any devotee, two things. Any devotee wants to hear more lectures of mine, they
yes,
can
Prabhu.
always go. They can always go on Keshav Anand Media YouTube channel. So Keshav Anand Media, I think we can type.
Yes, Prabhu.
Keshav
So,
yeah.
Prabhu, 1 second, Prabhu. So, Amal Tagore, Prabhu, if you can type it out in the chat forum, and so that others can. I know Prabhu had did it. He had done it for the last 2 sessions that you had. So, if you can request Amal Tagore, Prabhu, to put the right spelling there. Yes, Prabhu. So that will have your lectures. Okay.
Yeah. So there in so on that YouTube channel, Keshav Anand Media YouTube, or you can go to my site keshavanandmedia.com. From there, so from my site, it will redirect you to my YouTube channel. That's one thing. Second thing is this is a point. Yeah.
Yes,
it is. You can go to my site, or so you can directly go to my YouTube channel.
Okay, Prabhu. So again,
another thing I just want to tell, that I'm going to start online courses after some time, maybe next month. So if you go to my channel, you can always be there and look. And so I'm going to start many nice online courses there, in depth of Gaudiya Vaishnavism, world religions, inter-Vaishnav sampradayas on Bhagavatam, Gita. There's so many things. So you can keep looking forward for that, and
that'll be great, Prabhu. So once it's finalized, if you send it to me, then I can pass it along to our congregation members who've been asking me for something like this. After your 2 classes, they've been asking, when is Keshav Anand Prabhu's next class? And I mean it, and we've got several emails. So we are very, very happy on behalf of all the devotees who've been tuned into these classes from you. And also, Prabhu, one last question before we wrap it up. If somebody wants your online books, because we were fortunate to get your books when you were here. So if devotees want to get your book, is it through the same website?
Yes, so they can. So they can go to my site keshavanandmedia.com, and there they can go on book section, and they'll be everything will be there. So they can.
So they have. Are there ebooks as well, or lectures?
Actually, so there's some system to get books within India. Internationally, if they go to my site, and they can so from my site, they can drop a mail. We have some devotees in Canada, America, and we'll make sure the books reach you all, like that.
Okay. Fantastic, Prabhu. So thank you so much, Prabhu. And Amal Tagore, Prabhu. So for those of you who are following the chat window, so Amal Tagore, Prabhu has provided the website, keshavanandmedia.com, as well as Prabhu's YouTube channel. And we also thank Anu, Mother, for providing the website as well. So again, Prabhu, thank you so much, Prabhu, on behalf of all of us. And we will talk to you again on the 30th of this month, Prabhu. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.